Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the Seer for Nations Prophetic Channel. I am your host, Dr. Reverend Dr. Vanetta Chisholm, and tonight I want to talk about eating your peas. God said you need to eat your peas. What are the peas that he's talking about? He's talking about perception, power, and purpose. Perception, power, and purpose. So all week long, I have been hearing the word perception. Perception is how you see a thing. How does it register? What's your stance on it? You have physical attributes, reasonings, opinions, but at the end of the day, what is your perception on your situation? So this has been like a 3 day, 4 day word that I've been getting about perception. And perception is everything. And I want to give a little bit of examples of how your perception of a thing can um, affect you emotionally, affect your outcome, have an effect on your endurance throughout your whole situation, whatever your situation to of your own peace, being, and happiness. So I just want to know, just take a minute, like, how do you see yourself? How are you gauging your current situation? And what outcome are you expecting? Who is your help if you have any help at all? And are you sabotaging or counting yourself out already? And a lot of times we do find that we self sabotage, or we'll disqualify ourselves because of our own perception of how we see ourselves, or we're the tools, gauging by the tools and resources that we have and don't have as far as what the outcome will be. And I just want to kind of just share what God has been giving to me. And I thank the Lord that we can still hear the Lord, that He shares His thoughts with us or His plans for us. Because it's a lot of people that are walking around clueless or lost or confused. And so I just thank God for, you know, that somewhere or another he communicates with us. And I just want to share this with you. I'm not a gatekeeper on what the Lord uh, gives to me, because whatever is given to me was given to me by someone else from the Lord. And I would like for you all to like, share, and subscribe to the prophetic channel, because when God shares something good, I want to share it with you all too, because it may help, or it may help someone you know. So, the first example, I like to use the biblical examples because the biblical examples kind of give you a good footing, or give you courage, or it solidifies your your stance on what you're believing God for, or what you're believing in yourself to do, or goal you want to achieve. The first example that I want to start off with is in the book of Judges, chapter 6, where there was a leader by the name of Gideon. He was a leader over the Israelites. And at that time, the Israelites had an enemy called the Midianites. The Midianites were Eastern Arabic people. And these Eastern Arabic people, they were very powerful because they were great in number, but they were a thorn in the side of the Israelites because they were oppressive to the Israelites for a span of 7 years. And so what they were doing, they were waiting till the Israelites worked hard, um, had all of their crops ready to harvest, build up all of their merchant shops, and just establishing themselves and being in a good place. And the Midianites will come in and just wipe out everything. I mean, everything down to the last crumb, to where the Israelites had nothing to eat. So they suffered oppression for 7 years. I can't imagine someone coming in after after I work hard for 7 years, every year that I try to achieve something, somebody comes in to take it. Or can you imagine every time you build up a little account that somebody just comes in and takes it? Didn't work for it, no blood and sweat and tears on their part. They just came to collect every time. So this was something that the Israelites had endured over a course of 7 years. And we don't know if that 7 years was every day that they were going through this, but it was a span of 7 years. Somebody say enough is enough. I just want to speak to somebody today that feels like they're being run over, or the opportunities are being snatched from you, or you feel like you're trying to get ahead. But when you look at the situation, you feel like you're outnumbered. You feel like you don't have backing. And in the story, Gideon is doubtful. He's fearful about fighting against these Midianites. I mean, they're powerful enough to take every crumb, everything that you earn, leave you starving. And they were almost like pirates or terrorist type of people to take over and plunder and take everything. Um, and some people are living like that today, that every dime you get, somebody's coming for it. That's oppression. That is modern day oppression, that you can't enjoy the fruits of your labor. I just want to tell somebody that that is oppressive. And God doesn't want you to be in an oppressive state or situation. He wants you to be able to enjoy what you earn, set a goal and you reach it, set a goal and you obtain it and enjoy it. So, proving yourself during oppression, or proving yourself, what you need to prove is that your faith is intact. The Bible tells us in Hebrews 11:6 that it's impossible, without faith, it's impossible to please God. So, you have to look at yourself and ask yourself, do you have faith? Excuse me. Do you have faith? And not faith in your numbers or who you have with you, because Gideon was at the point to where he was like, okay, we have to match the numeric size of the Midianites. They outnumber us. And then I hear it in my spirit that some of you feel like, in order to get on top of things, or in order to gain victory in your life, that you have to be on the same energy, or give the same energy as somebody else. I hear that a lot. I'm going to give you that same energy. But in this story, God says you don't have to match anything that your enemies is doing. You don't have to do anything that your enemy is doing. You don't have to fight fire with fire. So he told Gideon, all you needed was 300 men. And I can imagine the Midianites probably were about 10,000 to the 300. So that looks impossible. That looks like something that is not numerically possible. You might feel like I'm living in a house where it's just me and I'm oppressed by a lot that's going on. Or I go to a workplace every day and it seems like everybody is my enemy. I can't get ahead. There's so much against me. Or you may feel like you're the black sheep of the family. Or you might feel that you don't measure up because you don't have the degrees on the wall, or you don't have the resources and money. You may not be driving the car that everybody else is driving. Everybody else may be driving cars that are 2024, 2025, and your car is already 15 years old, but it's still working. But it's getting you from point A to point B. I'm speaking to somebody today that God is not concerned about that. He just wants to know, what is your perception in your situation? Do you see yourself blessed? Do you see yourself covered? Do you see yourself protected? Do you see yourself sitting in high places, heavenly high places with Him? Do you see yourself as a friend of God? Or do you think everything in the world is against you? You got to sit yourself down in the mirror and look at that. Because in this situation, he told Gideon, you don't need as many as you think you need. Somebody out here thinking that just because they got a lot of friends that they have support and backing. That's an illusion. That is an illusion. Just because you got a great number of people that like you, that don't mean all of them like you. That's another thing. The one you need is God, and who He sends, you'll know the difference. So now it's time to go to war with these Midianites. It's time for you to face a situation that's your Midianite situation. It's time for you to stand up to the bullies that's on your job, your family, or your own mindset can be your enemy. Whatever it is, you got to face it. And you got to understand that God is on your side. You don't have to match energy, because Gideon didn't have to match the number of troops that he had to the Midianites. God said it ain't even necessary because I got a power behind you that they can't see. Some of y'all have been blessed to have a power, a representative with you that you can't see. Some of y'all gonna be able to obtain some things that you thought you needed somebody's co-signing for, that you thought you needed somebody's approval for, that you thought you needed somebody to make a platform for you to express yourself or present your talent. And God said, no, you don't need them. Let me show you how I'm going to help you win this battle. But first, where is your faith? You're struggling with your faith. And I'm gonna tell you, Gideon was struggling with his faith because he complained. He said, God, if you with me, why is this always happening? Why is this happening? And you can get to a place to where, once again, your perception about the situation can have you feeling as if God is not with you or God has forsaken you. He's just waiting for you to put your faith where it needs to be. He waiting for you to change your perception from the person that's being oppressed to the person that is the one that has the victory. I'm going to go to the next example. So if you want to go back and read the example about Gideon, you're going to go to Judges chapter 6. So we're moving on. We're going to talk about David and Goliath. So David was a shepherd boy who faced a giant on behalf of the nation of Israel. He loved Israel. He loved his country. And this giant was a Philistine of another tribe. And this giant stood well over 9.5 feet. And the Bible gives a description about how David looked. David wasn't a man that was tall in stature. He was kind of, Bible said he might have been a short or average height. And he was handsome. But he, if you look at the physical attributes between him and the giant was supposed to have beaten David or killed him or killed the whole Israelite tribe, because we're talking about a giant that's over 9 feet tall, a little over 9 feet tall. He could have laid down and stepped on somebody or stepped on a number of people, but David had a different perception of the situation. It didn't matter what the giant perceived, it's what he felt, he knew. It's about the power that he had behind him. And the purpose was to eliminate any representation of ungodliness or blasphemy against his God. So David ate his peas, y'all. David had his perception. He knew the power that he had behind him. And he knew the purpose of him being out there on that field to face that giant. And so what happened? He he won the victory. He was sure that he was the victor. He saw all the factors, but David didn't take that into consideration. Now, the mistake that your enemies are going to make is sizing you up where they can't see the power that's behind you, that their perception is all wrong about you, that they don't even understand their purpose. There are a lot of people that don't like you because they don't eat their peas. They perceive to be better than you. They perceive themselves to be better than you, or they perceive themselves to, you know, think that they have the authority over you. They also can think they have a relationship or position with other powers that is not of God. And there are people who want to advance by using dark powers. That's a big mistake. And their purpose is all wrong. The purpose of them working against you is out of jealousy, out of hatred, misunderstanding. Those are all the wrong purpose driven on the other side. But you have got to understand that you have your perception. Your perception has got to be right. What are you seeing? But once again, how do you see yourself? How are you gauging your current situation? What outcome are you expecting? Because if you're expecting a certain outcome, you're not going to talk and think against the outcome that you're expecting. That would make no sense. That's like me saying I want to make cornbread and I'm using flour. No cornmeal. I'm using flour and sugar and eggs. But like I'm making a cake. But I said I'm making cornbread. Sometimes that's how we do ourselves, because you got the wrong recipe for the victory. You have to see yourself. And I like to cook, so when it comes down to cooking, sometimes if I'm not in the mood or I don't feel that, hey, this is gonna, yeah, I'm into it. That energy, that power behind me cooking that meal, it's gonna show up in that food. It's not gonna be the best that it can be because I don't have the right energy source, the resource behind it. Your emotions have to be in a certain place. You have to see yourself, and I have to see the meal that I'm cooking. I think about it. I visualize how I want it to look. I can visualize it, tasting it in my mind, how it's supposed to come out. But if all of those spiritual ingredients aren't there, it's gonna manifest wrong in the natural. So you cannot have a double mind when it comes down to your perception and understanding the tools. The tools is the power, the other P, the power that you behind. Do you have the right tools? David had his tools. Since we're going back to David and Goliath, he had his tools, which was those 5 smooth stones out of a brook and a slingshot. So some of the things that God may give you as a resource, it might not make any sense at all to you. Like, how in the world is this going to come about? And this is what you giving me to work with? Or I don't have nothing to work with. God, I want a house, but I don't even have the money. Oh God, I don't even have my credit. Just different things that the world may say that we don't, that we have a shortcoming or we don't measure up. How do you perceive yourself having? Do you perceive that you're worthy of something like that? Or you gonna throw in the towel and count yourself out and continue to um, live with other people or live in an apartment? I'm not knocking that, because I'm just saying, for those who have a goal for the next level for you. You may be living with somebody and you just want your own apartment. How are you perceiving yourself? Do you perceive yourself to be worthy of having that? Do you deserve it, so don't talk yourself out of it. So the next Bible story is in Genesis 17 and 16. And this is the story about Sarah and Abraham. Sarah didn't have any children. She was 90 years old when she conceived her first child, because God promised her that she would be the mother of nations. Now, in the story, you'll find out that she laughed when an angel told her, around about this time, you're going to give birth to a son. She laughed. Your life is not a joke. So the angel said, "Are you laughing?" And she said, "No, I'm not laughing." So she laughed in doubt of God, and she lied. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't ever say what God can't or ain't or it's impossible to do, because he will show you. So I guess she was uh 89 years old when she was told this. She gave birth to her first child at 90. So God kept his promise. And I want to tell somebody that whatever you and God talk about and he makes a promise to you, he's going to keep that promise. And understand that God didn't consider anything about Sarah. He didn't consider her record of going through her childbearing years and not having a child. He didn't consider that. He didn't consider her numeric age. He didn't consider her physical bodily condition. He didn't even consider who was going to take care of the child as old as she was. He didn't care about any of that. He said what he said. And what are you saying? What are you saying about your situation? Once again, if we go back to perception, what your perception about a situation will make you say things. If you believe it, it'll make you say what you believe. A lot of people say, don't speak everything that's on your mind. And you got other people say, I just want to speak my mind. But what I want to tell you tonight is your perception is everything. How do you see yourself? How are you gauging your current situation? We gauge our current situation by what we see, but it's got to stay in the direction of you being or having the victory. It's got to stay in the direction of the outcome that you want. Because if you don't condition your mind, your actions will not follow. Condition your mind so your actual actions will follow. If you say you're going to get out of a situation, condition your mind that you can. Condition your mind that there's a power that's far greater than you and far greater than the oppressor that has you in a situation. Let me say, you gotta see your way through. Yeah, see your way through. I think about a telescope or a periscope or binoculars, when you look through, you can see further than what your natural eye can present in front of you. So what I want you to do is have a perception, because that's all you got. What do you believe about your current situation? How are you gauging it? Are you looking at all of your obstacles as a negative or a challenge? Who is your help or your power? So put your hope in God. I'm gonna tell you that. I'm gonna give you a freebie on that one. Put your help and your trust in God, because man will let you down. But I also know that God can also use people you don't know, people that may be angels unaware. He will also use your oppressors and your enemies to work out a plan. Oh, you'll know the difference, because when it happens, your mouth will be hanging open. You'll be trying to figure out, why this person, I I thought they didn't like me. They don't like you. But God will make your enemies bless you. Yes, he will. Yes, he will. He will prepare a table for you in the presence of your enemies. All the time you've been perceiving yourself in a different light, but God saw you all the time. So Sarah gave birth to this child and became the mother of nations at 90 years old. So don't say what God can and can't do. Whatever you believe in God for, it's gonna come through. You gotta look in that telescope. Pick it up. Your telescope could be you looking in your mirror. Your telescope could be you having a dream, laying down, going to sleep in peace, and you having a dream, and God show you what your perception should be. He can send somebody just to talk to you out of the blue, and the conversation just comes up out of nowhere. And there it is. Your perception is changed. Or you find out who's for you, that God is really for you, that He has angels on assignment talking to you. He has people that sometimes it's not always your friends. It's not always who you think your support is going to come from. The power or the tools, and then your purpose. And you wonder why you going through all of this stuff. Just like Gideon in Judges 6. He said, God, if you're really with us, why are we going through all of this stuff? Then it wouldn't be faith if everything was given to you and you didn't have to believe for it. God wouldn't have no reason to show up and show out. That's what he does. That's what he do. I understand the word savior. In order for to be saved from something, you got to be in some trouble. You got to be in a tight spot. He's called savior for a reason. A lot of people say, oh yeah, he's right on time. God is everywhere at the same time. So he don't have to be on time when he already there. That's why he understand what you're going through, because he's already there. He see everything you see. He see everything that's being done to you. He see everything that you're going through. He see your tears. He hear your cries. He hears your sighs and can interpret your moaning and your sighs when you're tired and too tired to pray, too tired to speak. He can interpret all of that. He understands your language. But what he wants you to do is put your faith in him. So that is that's the P's. Those are the P's. perception, power, and purpose. In order for you to get that outcome. That's what I'm talking about. So I want you all to like, share, and subscribe. Send this video to somebody you think might need to hear it. Be a blessing to this channel. We have Cash App open, PayPal is open. And God bless you. Until we meet again, until God sends another prophetic word, I don't know, but hey, whatever He says, let it be.